Hey guys, someone give me a 5 for 5 in there and we'll get going. Yeah, I'm just kind of throwing this one together. This just happened, just so you know. If you read the thumbnail, there you go. Cool. Good to see everybody. I am going to go ahead and just jump into it because there's not, at this point in time, there's really not a whole lot of info to show you other than what just happened. One thing I want to say, it was an X1 flare, okay? So look, what I want to do is I'm going to show you guys the absorption right here. This is the X-ray absorption. So the X-rays have already hit us, okay? This just happened. Matter of fact, hey Tommy, I just got off the phone with Tommy. I was going to go lay down and check this, and we've had, an X flare. One of the bigger flares that you can get. It's only the second one we've had in a long time. The other one wasn't fired at us. This one was directly at us. Okay, so this is not, it's nothing to be fearful right now, okay? But this is a substantial event. Look at this. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys have looked at this graph a whole lot, but let me tell you something. I've not seen it do that in a while. That's a lot of X-ray right there. And it just so happened we're over here in the States, we're on the day side. So my internet's been up and down anyway because of all this stuff, I think, anyway. But this isn't going to help matters at all. I don't think we're going to be blacked out or nothing like that. If we were, we already would have been, okay? Just so you know. But this was an X1 flare, and it fired, and I'll show you guys the sunspot here in a minute. But right here, you can see it. One thing I want to say, we had 2 M-class flares earlier on today. We had an M-class, 2 M-class flares back here a couple days ago. So things are getting really, really active, and we knew that this was going to happen eventually. It's not something we weren't expecting, but it is definitely something newsworthy. All right. So as you can see here, R3. I don't know that I've ever reported on an R3 radio outage before since I've had my channel up. So let's take a look at that and see what that means. And we will see what kind of conditions are expected during that. Wide area blackout of high frequency radio communications. That's the first thing. Loss of radio contact for about an hour on sunlit side of Earth. Low frequency navigation signals degraded for about an hour. And what I'm going to show you guys here, see how that said about an hour? That's pretty much what happened. This right here is 24-hour observed maximum. This is the latest observed conditions. So we're down to an R1 already. And that would definitely fall right in place with an hour. So it's right on key. So, yeah, you're right, Axe. Good to see you, bud. Hey, Whitetail. A lot of people in here ain't seen in a minute. Hey, Angelo, what's going on? Hold it down in the Bronx for me, baby. What's happening? What's going on, Joanne? Missy in the house. Arizona in the house. Wow. Okay. Good to see everybody. I ain't seen you guys in a while. But anyway, that is the significance of it. The initial, like I said, guys, we're gonna basically take a look and see if maybe this had a CME, because it did have a CME with it. It's going to be kind of hard to judge yet whether or not it's coming directly at us, but let me show it to you on SDO, and we will go from there. And but this was, like I said, guys, this is substantial. This isn't it's not a monster, but it's yeah. So let's just take a look at it in the, well, I guess we could just stuck with the, let's go to 304, because this is going to show you plasma quite well. It happened right here. See that? See how fast that was? So what you're seeing there are those M-class flares earlier. Okay. And then there's the X-class. Guys, look how far that... Oh my gosh. Wow. That's cool. That's cool, number one. Number two, with it being I can't tell you, I'm not ready to say that this CME that's with this, because this stuff definitely, with an X-class flare, typically you're going to get a good amount of plasma leave the sun. Okay? That thing did blow pretty good. It is right in front of us. I don't see us missing this CME. The only way we're going to miss this CME is if it fired it to the south. It's kind of hard to say because Stereo A hasn't updated for this yet. And that's our sideways view. So, just saying. Hey, Tab, what's happening? Missing's in the house. What's going on? Tina, Stephanie. But yeah, guys, so that right there is what the flare. So you got the flare and then you got the CME with it. So let's do a little bit slower there. Okay. You see how it's kind of trying to make in this X pattern that we see? That's just a light anomaly that happens with the camera anyway. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's an X flare. The M flare showed an X pattern too. So, hey Hilly, what's up? Candace, what's happening? So watch that dance around like that. You guys see? That is, look at that. Wow. If that had blown over here and it had blown off the side and we had a really good view of that, that would have been pretty amazing to see. It still is amazing anyway to look at that. That's significant, guys. I mean, you're not going to get anything less with an X-class flare. And it was an X1. Okay? It's the lowest X-class flare you could possibly get, but it's still an X-class flare. Yeah. Even on a 304, you can kind of see the shock wave in this little circle area here. I just don't see us missing this one, guys. The X-rays are already here. We already got hit with the flare, but the CME that's with it, well, I don't think it's going to miss us. It might, I guess. Like I said, guys, I'm not ready to say 100% because I can't. I don't have another view of this yet. This just happened, so yeah, just like normally, I'm getting ready to go lay down and I check stuff before I lay down and then something like this happens. But it is what it is. So let's look at a different angstrom here and see if we can't get a different, let's look at the 211. I actually haven't looked at the 211 yet. So let's see what this, wow. Yeah, we're not missing that one. Sorry. Yeah. We're not going to miss that one, guys. Because remember, Earth's right here. Right in line. So watch what it does. Watch this solar tsunami go across the surface. Look at that. Judging by that cloud, I'm calling it a cloud because it kind of looks like that. It's plasma, all right? Oh my gosh, wow, that's a big one. It's nothing to be fearful of, okay? I want to say that straight up. Don't nobody get scared about this. Hey Trish, what's up? Nothing to be fearful. The X-rays have already hit, but what I want to say here, guys, is this did have a CME with it. There's no way around it. So we're just going to have to just kind of wait and watch. This is a significant one. Now, what's different about this X flare than what I've been able to report on in the past is this one is right in front of us. I mean, you don't get no more dead center of the sun. You know, vertically there. You just don't. So, yeah. If there's ever a chance that we're going to get hit with the decent CME, that's it right there. But again, don't nobody freak out over this because it's nothing to freak out about. Okay? It is most definitely newsworthy. It's most definitely we need to look at this. But we got time before the CME gets here, so we'll be able to analyze it a little bit and have a better idea here in the next probably 6 to 12 hours of what we can expect. Now, it did look like with the next flare, the plasma, usually it'll leave the sun pretty fast. So with that being said, it'll get here faster than what a smaller one would have. And it does look like it's moving pretty quick. Something else that you guys can notice on the 211, remember how this is the one we look at for looking at coronal holes? Watch what happens on this X flare. Watch it open up the corona right here. See that? A lot of that's probably just plasma, but that plasma was there. So yeah. That's just pretty, yeah, it's pretty substantial. And again, guys, I promise you I will not be the only one talking about this. I couldn't see us. Hey, Ron, good to see you, bud. So yeah, I mean, that's it. Yeah, if nobody's ever seen a directly facing Earth facing X flare before, there it is. So, and again, it's not the most giant X flare you can get, but again, I'll say it again, it still is an X flare. Back at you, Tommy. Back at you, brother. So yeah, I just don't even. Yeah, it's yeah, we've been working on that a little bit, Tab. But thank you. You're awesome, by the way, just so you know. I'm trying to read that question, sorry. Wouldn't flare give us worse of what is expected? Nope, Greg. See, a flare, and this is one of the battles that I fight. And the reason I fight this, it's not really a fight. It's just me trying to explain it. We have to understand that a flare and a CME are two different things. In 1859, during the Carrington event, that's really when they started looking at that. Because the flare happened, and you get the x-rays, and obviously, you know, that happens. So whatever, we get radio stuff happening and all those other kinds of things. But the CME that's after it, it takes it some time to get here. And that's plasma. So those are the, you know, that's basically like an EMP. The really, really strong ones like 1859 and all that, it's kind of what it was. But to answer your question, the flare and the CME are two different things. They're coming from the same source on this particular incident, which happens often. Hey, CW. The flare itself, how, you know, when we first get that initial blast, it's x-rays. So, yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's, yeah. Yeah, moment of truth. Yeah, yeah, you did the right thing there, Arizona. Yeah, it's, yeah, ain't nobody gonna die. Okay, guys? Just so you know. That won't happen. Not from this. And again, guys, this is why, you know, I really try to put it across in a way that isn't fearful. Because you shouldn't be fearing this at all. This is an X-class flare. It's not a gigantic X-class flare, but it's a big one. And I'm bringing it to you guys because I know that there's going to be a lot of people out there wondering what can we expect. So to take it back to what we can expect, I just showed you guys the radio blackouts that were R3. It's a strong storm, right? Strong radio blackout. The radio blackout part of it is already starting to subside. That only hangs around for like an hour. So if we go up to the CME, which would be a geomagnetic storm, we can look at this, and this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. Okay? So depending on how strong it was, how fast it's moving, there's going to be a whole lot of variables here that don't have the info on yet. Okay? So I'm not going to be able to tell you exactly what kind of storm level. I can't even, at this point, I can't even tell you exactly the direction it's going. Because this just now happened. But what I can say is, judging by SDO, I guess we could go check out Soho and see if it's updated yet. That Soho is usually a little bit behind. Anyway, so let's go over here to Seeds and see if they've updated anything. Yeah, see how quiet that looks? Yeah, they're not even into the 29th yet. Well, this is the 28th, I'm sorry. But, yeah, this is well before, this is actually right before. You might be seeing just a little bit of that starting to peek out at the top here. So with that being said, if it's peeking out up here, and it fired off down here, my guess is it's probably going to end up being a Halo CME. So, but yeah, that would be my guess, and it's pure just speculation at this point. Okay, I'm showing you what could be possible here, and I don't really like doing this, but I'm going to go lay down, and I'm tired and all that. So, but anyway, so what we can do, we can go look at Stereo A and see if it's updated yet, and it hasn't got that far either. So this is all stopping right before the CME happened. Why is it doing that? Because it just happened. Okay? And I know I said that probably 1,000 times already. But we've been talking about, we got to keep an eye on this stuff right now. Because these active areas on the sun were very active. Especially the one on the north earlier this week. That's the ones that gave us, look at all these flares. These are C-class flares. All these. Except for these smaller ones here. But these are all C-class flare. There's an M-class flare. I think that one maybe got into M-class. No, that was a C9, I think. But then you got 2 M-class flares here. And now an X flare. So, yeah. So we're just going to have to watch it, guys. Yeah. So, again, like I said, I wish I had more info for you. And most days I would have went ahead and waited. But again, I'm going to be a little bit busy later on. And I'll probably try to come back on and give you guys an update. We got some other stuff I want to talk about also anyway. So later on today, I'll probably come back on. And we will definitely, I'll give you guys an update on what's going on. And hopefully, we'll have some more data come in. One thing we can do before I check out of here, let's go ahead and look at the CME tracker. I doubt if it's updated yet. But we'll see. Nope. That definitely was not it. I can tell you that. That definitely was not it. So, that hasn't updated yet. We can, let's go over here to NOAA real quick and check out down here. See if the end little spiral here is updated. Nope. That right there, that was another CME that we're supposed to be getting a glancing blowout on late in the day on the 30th. So you're going to see all these tools start to update. And that's when it's going to be like, that's when we got the real information. That's when we can really, dive into the data part of it and figure out what's going to happen and what's going on, what's the best chance. I would venture to guess by the time I end this stream, you're probably going to have 5 other people out here talking about this. Because this is only the second one we've had in a good amount of time. So, that's what I would say. Gilly, you got all kinds of jokes, brother. I love you, man. That's awesome. So, yeah, guys. So, just stay tuned. Turn your notification bell on. See if you got anything going on. And as always, guys, go check out the Lifeboat. We're going to be doing some live streams tonight over there. What the heck happened there? Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, so go check out the Lifeboat. Go check out Mark Pires. It's all positivity stuff that I push you guys to. Please do. Guys, we're doing some really good, powerful stuff over on the Lifeboat right now, reading goodbye letters and stuff like that. It's amazing. People are getting sober, going into rehabs and everything else. And it's a good avenue for people. And I hope you guys come check us out. I usually make a community post when we go live over there. And I wouldn't be doing that every time unless I thought it could help somebody. So just understand that. Hey, you're welcome. Patriot. Oh, man. People getting a little frisky in there. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let them say what they want about me. I honestly laugh about it, guys. You guys know I do, and it does affect me. I mean, eventually, when it really affects me when it comes from people that I thought wouldn't come from, but I really don't know that particular account. But yeah, that's when it affects me, is when I actually have talked to people and then you get blindsided. That's when it hits you. Yeah, you're right, Tab. It's not okay, but it's, it, at the very least, it shows the rest of the world what kind of, yeah, thanks, Tommy. But yeah, it shows the rest of the world what kind of a character you are, honestly. So that's just what I would say. And I'm not trying to even point that out to Eyes Open. Was that the name there? Eyes Open? Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, honestly, that's you know what, guys? When people ain't got nothing else to say, they revert back to personal attacks that have nothing to do with what I'm talking about here. That's what happens. But that's okay, because I know this, right? So it doesn't affect me that way. So, but yeah. So yeah, guys. Yeah, Andy, don't get scared. We don't want no scaring going on here. That ain't what we do, I've said it for a long time now. We don't get scared over stuff we can't control. And if you're scared, why do I talk about this stuff then, right? It's, why I talk about it? It's so people are aware that stuff can happen. Because if you know it can happen, you don't get shocked when it actually does happen. Or not, at least not shocked as bad. And if you get shocked and you really have to make a big decision, you're not going to make the best decision if you're scared. So the more awareness you can have is actually lowering, those kinds of things. So yeah. But, it is what it is, guys. But I am going to go ahead and get off here, guys. Please go check out everybody's channel. I wish I could say them every time. I say that every time, too. I know I sound like a broken record. Well, apparently, I sound like nails on a chalkboard. But, it is what it is. Do solar flares affect volcanoes? That's a big question, Annie. We know that we know that space weather does affect seismic activity. We just haven't been able to pinpoint it exactly and get it down to an exact science. It's just going to take, Ron's in here. He does a really good job. So, go check him out over at Emergency Management Associates. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm not the earthquake guy, so I don't really have a whole lot of knowledge on seismic activity. I got just enough to be able to tell you, hey, that happened. Go watch Ron. That's pretty much what I've got. So, and that's why I don't spend a whole lot of time trying to talk about that, because I don't want to get that part of it wrong. Yep, no fear. We can't have no fear, guys. It's just the way that it is. You know, I honestly, truly don't get scared. I really don't, and I would hope you guys don't either, because you're gonna, and that's another reason why I jumped out here, because you're going to inevitably have some people out there that are going to report on this, and they're going to start screaming, "The sky's falling," and yeah. Now, I'm not saying that we can't get a good CME out of this and have some issues, because anything's possible with an X-class flare. But what I'm saying is, we got some time to look at this and analyze it a little bit before it even gets here. And just to put kind of my thought on this, an X1 flare is not a grid down situation. Okay? So just understand that. I mean, but this one was directed right at us, and that's why this one could give us a little bit more than what it would have if it was on the side of the sun. Because the last X-class flare we had was actually starting to crest around the limb, if you guys remember. And it fired off, I believe, to our, it would be to the west, because it's backwards when you're talking about the sun, to the right. So we didn't even take a full blow from it. And that's, I can't remember if it was on the right or the left side of the sun, so don't quote me on that one either, but I'd have to go back and look at it. But I know it was on one of the limbs. So, you know, again, I'm not going to sit here and keep repeating myself. I know you guys don't want to hear that. I just wanted to show this to you guys and bring it to you and let you guys see it before somebody else comes out there and tells you to dig a bunker and go get in it real quick. That's what you're going to hear it from somebody out there like that, I promise. But just trust people that try to give you the right info and try to at least put it out there in a way that isn't fearful. And there are people out there that do that, okay? So just know that. There's good people out there. Yeah, we still have internet. We still got our electricity. Everything's still working. So we're good. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, we'll talk about later what the CME could possibly do. We'll have to wait and get the data on it and see how strong it is. So, but yeah. Man. All right, guys. Yeah, you're welcome, Trisha. I just, I get really tired of fear porn. I really do. And there's so much of it out there. I just quit talking about it because there's so much of it. So I just try to do my part by giving the information out and stopping there. There's really no need for me to go any further. You know, I give you the information, tell you what could happen, what might happen, or what isn't going to happen. And I'll tell you, if I don't have the answers for it, I'll try to point you to somebody that does. Case in point, you got earthquake questions? Go over here and talk to Ron. Ricky's in here too. Ricky's really knowledgeable about earthquakes also. So that's what I would say, guys. On that size, that's a good question though, Annie. It really was. That was an awesome question. I mean, those are all great questions. So, but anyway, guys, I am for the 12th time. I'm getting out of here. Love you guys. See you guys in a few hours. God bless. Yahusha saves. You can drink this Kool-Aid.